Welcome to the Upgrading SMS video for the Precision Ag Data Management course produced by the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network. My name is Jackson Stansel, and I am a research technician with the Nebraska On-Farm Research Network. This video is in the SMS Advanced Software Management section of the course. The SMS Advanced Software Management section of the course is designed to walk you through getting started with the SMS software, importing data to the software, upgrading the software, migrating data through upgrades, and getting familiar with the SMS interface. This particular video will address how to upgrade your current SMS software to a newer version of the software and how to migrate data through this process. Let's get started. First, we need to identify the version of the software that is already installed on our computer. One way to do this is by double-clicking on the program's icon to open it. When the loading window comes up with the SMS logo, we can look at the bottom of the window and it will say which version of the software is installed. If we aren't able to identify the version while the loading window is up, we can open up one of the projects that is listed or a new project. Then we will find the Help menu from the top menu bar and click on About Ag Leader Technology SMS. The middle of the window that appears will clearly display the version of the software that is installed. In this case, the version that is installed is version 18.0. Now that we have identified the version of the software that is currently installed, we need to determine if a new version of the software is available to download. To do this, we should find a list of downloadable software versions on the internet. On the page for this video within the SMS Advanced Software Management section of the course, we have included a link to the Ag Leader Knowledge Base list of available SMS software versions for download. If you click this link, it will take you to this list and we will proceed from that point in just a little bit. An alternative way of finding this list begins with searching SMS Software Ag Leader Technology Knowledge Base on your desired search engine, such as Google. When we do this, one of the first results will read SMS Software Ag Leader Technology Knowledge Base. We will click on this result and that will take us to the SMS software information and download page in the knowledge base. On this page, there are some instructions for upgrading SMS that we will synthesize and expound upon here, as well as a list of software versions with downloadable zip files for downloading and installing the software. The first thing that we will do after arriving on this page is we will identify our current software version, and then we will identify the next newest version. For example, we will identify our current software as version 18.0 and the next newest software as version 18.5. The reason we will identify the next newest version after our version of the software is because it is important to only upgrade SMS one version at a time. This means that if you have version 16.7 installed on your computer, and you want to upgrade all the way to version 18.5, then you must upgrade first to 17.2, then to 17.5, then to 18.0, and then finally to 18.5. The reason for this is that data that is saved in one version of SMS can only be read correctly by the next newer version of SMS. Therefore, data must be migrated successively between versions in order to stay viable. We will discuss data migration during an upgrade in just a little while. Once we have determined the next newest software version that we need to upgrade to, there are two things that we need to do. The first is that we need to make sure our Windows operating system is fully updated. We can check this by going to Windows Settings, then to Update and Security, then to Windows Update. If we are in need of an update, we can update the computer from here. However, it looks like this Windows operating system is currently up to date, so we can proceed to the next thing we need to check before upgrading. The next thing we need to check prior to the upgrade is that the version of the software we are upgrading to will be compatible with our system. We will do this by clicking on the link for the release notes for the version of the software we are interested in. The release notes will list the minimum system requirements, and the main aspect of these requirements that we need to verify is that our operating system is compatible with the software. In most cases, the other requirements will be satisfied. Since our operating system, Windows 10, is compatible with the software, we are okay to proceed with the upgrade. The release notes that present these system requirements also have valuable written information for upgrading the software, migrating data, explaining new features, and identifying potential issues with the software. If you have technical trouble with the software later, this is a good resource to reference. Now that we have verified that our system is updated and compatible, we can download the new software version. To do this, we will simply click on the download link. This will initiate the download of the zip folder to the computer. This may take several minutes depending on your system specs and the download speed of your network, because of the size of the folder. Once the download is completed as indicated in the bottom bar of our internet browser, we will click on the folder name to open the zip folder within the File Explorer on our computer. In most cases, the zip folder will be located in the Downloads folder on the computer. When we see the downloaded folder displayed in the File Explorer, we will double-click it to reveal its contents. What we see is that there is an application file called Setup. Double-clicking this file will start the installation process, but before we do that, we need to discuss data migration. Data migration is basically the transferring of project data from one version of SMS to the next version of SMS. At this point, we basically have two options to do this. The first option is to do a manual backup. To do this, we will open up the SMS software that is currently installed on the computer and click Backup/Restore Projects on the SMS Projects window that comes up first. In the pop-up window that appears, we will select Backup Project Data Now and click OK. This brings up a window that allows us to select certain projects to add to this backup process. We will add the projects that we want to back up using the Add button, and when we are satisfied with the selected projects, we can enter a custom name for the backup folder, select our specified save location, then press OK. This will make a new folder containing this project data in the save location that we specified. Once we install the new software version, we can restore these project backups into the new software, thereby migrating the data. The second option for migrating data into our new version of SMS is relying on a prompt for automatic backup of current SMS project data during the installation process. This is much simpler than doing the backup ourselves, but there is no control over the save location, name, or projects that will be backed up. Since we now know what to expect for data migration, we can start the installation process. The first window that appears in the Install Shield wizard asks us to select the language for the installation. Here you should select whichever language you are most comfortable with, and in this case we will select English and click OK to proceed with the installation. This will initiate the next step of the process. The next window that will appear will be the AgLeader Technology SMS Install Wizard. If there is project data associated with the currently installed version of SMS on your computer that has not been backed up, a pop-up box prompting us to back up our data will appear in front of the Install Wizard. If this box pops up, it means that we didn't do a manual backup and we should choose to back up our current data. Since we have already manually backed up our data, this box does not pop up and we see that the first step in the Install Wizard is simply an introduction to the Install Wizard. We will click Next. The next step in the Install Wizard is the End User License Agreement. If you'd like to read the full agreement, please pause the video and read the agreement now. Here we will go ahead and select the bubble to accept the terms of the license agreement, then select Next. This brings up the next step in the Install Wizard, which is to select the folder where the program will be installed. Generally, the default folder will be acceptable because it will be in the Program Files folder in the main drive for the computer. If this isn't the case, you can select Change and navigate to the Program Files folder in the C drive of your computer. Because the default folder here is acceptable, we won't change anything and we will click Next. Now we have the opportunity to select which type of SMS software to be installed. You should select the type of SMS software that corresponds to the software type you currently have. In our case, this software type is SMS Advanced, so we will select that bubble. With this bubble selected, we will now click Next. Here we have the opportunity to select which language files to be included in the software. You may feel free to choose as many or as few as you like. In my case, I only need the English version, which is already selected, so we will click Next. Now we are ready to install the software. The final step in the install wizard explains this. If there are any changes that need to be made to the settings we selected, we should click back here to go and change them. We are comfortable with our settings here, so we will click Install. The installation may take several minutes to complete depending on your system. When the installation is completed, we will be notified. Then we will click Finish to complete the installation. With the installation completed, we can go to our desktop and we should find an icon for SMS Advanced that looks like the one currently shown on the screen. Now we will double-click the icon and the program will start. This should bring up a window that indicates that there is data that needs to be migrated and asks us if we would like to migrate the data now. We will select Yes to start the data migration process. If there is a lot of data to be migrated, this process can take a very long time, but because we are not migrating much data, the process will be fairly short. When the data migration is completed, the start window for the newly installed version of SMS will come up. This concludes the upgrading SMS video. With the newest software successfully installed, you should proceed to the video titled Importing SMS Files to learn how to import SMS files that are not already associated with the software, which is a skill you will need for the tutorials in this course. If you had trouble upgrading the software, please re-watch the video and read the release notes for the version you are working with. If you are unable to identify the problem after doing these things, please contact Ag Leader Technical Support for further assistance. Should you have any comments on challenging steps to understand in this video, or any suggestions for additional help videos to be made, please feel free to contact us. I look forward to working with you in the next video to show you how to import files to SMS.